Okay, so welcome to the deep dive, the drill. If you're here, you're here because you want to get smart fast
That's right.
about ideas that matter. And
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
we're really going deep
Uh,
on something that has been around for like 2,000 years.
absolutely.
Seneca's letters from a Stoic.
Mm.
And forget all the dry, dusty philosophy.
Yeah.
This is about real life stuff.
This is about how to live.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think we've both really been immersed
Yes.
in Seneca's letters to Lucilius.
124 letters
His friend Lucilius. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
to his friend Lucilius. Yeah.
It's like eavesdropping on this
It is.
brilliant mind,
Yeah.
grappling with these questions that I think all of us have.
Right.
How do we deal with loss? How do we find contentment?
Right.
How do we make the most
How do we deal with death even?
of this one life that we've got?
Yeah.
And I think what's so interesting is, Seneca wasn't just
Yeah.
sitting in an ivory tower theorizing.
Armchair philosopher. No.
He was in the thick of it.
He was a player.
Yeah, he was like a major political figure in Rome,
Yeah.
dealing with power and wealth and
And the drama that goes with it.
all the drama and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
so when he talks about
Right.
grief or controlling desires or
Facing death.
facing death without even flinching,
Right.
it's like he's talking from a place of experience.
He knows.
Yeah, and
He's been there.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I've
Yeah.
definitely wrestled with some of those things.
For sure.
And one thing that I thought was so interesting was his thoughts on time, because that's something that we're all constantly
Yes.
up against. The
There's-
clock is ticking.
Yeah, and at the heart of it all, of course, is this idea of Stoicism.
Right.
Um,
And you might have heard the term,
right.
but what does it really mean in practice?
In practice, yeah.
So what is it?
Well, it's a practical philosophy. It's a guide to navigating life's challenges, and it's really about
Right.
understanding what's within your control,
Right.
your thoughts and actions, and then what's not in your control.
Right.
And accepting that,
Okay.
accepting what you can't control,
Yeah.
and the aim of all of this is to find peace of mind
Okay.
that is deep and unshakable,
Regardless of the circumstances.
regardless of the chaos around you.
Okay.
And this peace of mind is rooted in virtue and reason.
Okay.
So it's not just
Right.
airy-fairy kind of peace. It's
Very
a
practical.
practical peace of mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Seneca is one of the
He's a big name.
big names, right?
Yeah.
You got Seneca, you got Marcus Aurelius,
Marcus Aurelius, yeah, the emperor.
Epictetus.
Epictetus, the former slave
Right.
who taught some of the most amazing lessons on freedom.
Yeah, and they were all kind of wrestling.
All wrestling with the same
Well,
questions.
the same questions, right?
Uh-huh.
Trying to figure out
Trying to figure out how to live a good life
yeah,
in a turbulent world.
in a world that's not that different from our own,
Not that different.
right? It's
Right.
still a crazy world.
It is.
Um,
And so our mission for this deep dive is to extract
right.
the most potent and actionable wisdom from these letters.
And tailor it specifically
Yes.
for the listener.
Yes, for you.
Right. We want to give them
The core principles.
the core principles,
Yeah.
the insights.
Real insights that can change the way you see things.
Yeah. And without getting too
Without the academic jargon.
bogged down in the weeds,
How
right?
about stay out of the weeds?
Yeah.
Keep it practical.
Think of it as Seneca's greatest hits.
Seneca's greatest hits.
Remix for the 21st century.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's dive in.
Yeah.
Um,
Where should we start?
one of the big
There are
ones
many places we could start.
that Seneca talks about
Yeah.
is death.
Death.
It's not a topic that
Not a dinner party conversation, usually.
we usually rush to,
Yeah.
but Seneca really tackles it
He goes right at it.
head on in a way that's surprisingly, I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of freeing.
It is freeing, actually.
Yeah.
Because what he does is he reframes death.
Okay.
He doesn't see it as this terrifying abyss.
Right.
The end. It's not the... He sees it as a natural
Okay.
and inevitable part of life.
Right.
He says, quote, death is not the end of life,
Right.
but the completion of it.
Okay.
And that's a very different way of
Yeah.
looking at things.
Right. Because if it's a completion, it's how does that change
Exactly.
the way we think about
How does that change the way we live?
living
Right, yeah.
each day
Each day.
leading up to it?
Yeah, if you know the play is going to end,
Right.
how does that affect your performance?
It's
Yeah.
and the scenes leading up to it.
If it's not an endless run.
Yeah. What really deserves my attention?
Yeah, what really deserves your energy.
Right.
And I think what Seneca is saying is
Yeah.
By really accepting our mortality, by internalizing it,
Go.
we can free ourselves from a lot of anxieties.
Okay.
Because the fear of loss diminishes
Right.
when you see loss as part of the cycle.
It's part of the natural order of things?
As part of the natural order of things, yeah.
Okay.
And that clarity allows you to focus on what matters.
Right. Living a life of purpose.
Living a life of purpose and virtue
Right.
in the time you have.
It's about the quality.
It's about the quality.
Of your time.
Not the quantity.
Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of flows right into...
That's right into...
Another thing.
Another big theme.
He was in Seneca's letters.
Really laser focused on.
Yes.
Was our use of time.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was looking at our frantic modern lives and saying
he was prescient.
Yeah.
He saw this coming. Hold up. Are you sure?
He did.
That that's the best way to spend your...
Are you sure that's how you want to spend your time?
The most precious resource.
Your most precious resource.
Yeah.
His observations on time are brutal.
They are.
In their honesty.
And so relevant.
And they resonate so much today in our world of...
hyper-scheduled attention deficit world.
Our frantic world.
Right.
He said, and this is so true, people are frugal in guarding their money.
Right.
But wasteful in guarding their time.
Yeah, think about that for a second. We'll
hunt for the best deals.
Hunt for deals. Yeah.
We'll meticulously track our spending.
Right.
But then we'll scroll endlessly through social media.
Or fill our days with these meaningless tasks.
Right.
Right? And it's
without a second thought.
Yeah, it's a total punch to the gut.
It is a punch to the gut.
Yeah, we're treating time like it's this infinite, renewable resource.
Yeah.
But
it's not.
It's anything but.
No.
And so Seneca is urging us to be fiercely protective of our time.
Yeah.
And to really interrogate how we're spending it.
Yeah.
Because unlike money,
you can't get it back.
You can't get it back.
You can't earn more time.
Once it's gone, it's gone. And for you, the listener who's tuning in, because you value your time.
Right.
You want to absorb knowledge.
Efficiently. Yeah.
This is a core message.
This is a core message.
Your time is your most valuable asset.
It is.
Right? And I think Seneca goes...
He does.
Even beyond just saying don't waste time.
He doesn't just say don't waste time.
Right. He actually critiques.
He critiques certain activities that actually detract from our well-being.
Right. He probably advised us to
he would
really evaluate our daily activities.
Yes. What are you doing?
Do they align with our values?
Does it align with your values?
Do they contribute to our growth?
Does it contribute to your growth?
Or are they just...
Or is it just a distraction?
Distractions, right, that are making us feel...
leaving you drained.
Drained and unfulfilled. And that's how we end up feeling.
That's how you end up feeling overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed and we're constantly chasing our tail.
Right.
Yeah.
So that intentionality around time is key.
Yeah, so it's not just the grand philosophical ideas that he's talking about.
He gets into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. Yeah, so he talks a lot about self-discipline.
Self-discipline.
And simplicity. And this isn't about
living in a cave. No.
Right? This isn't about deprivation.
No, it's not about deprivation. It's about being mindful about your desires and your possessions.
Right, because he really saw that pursuit of
luxury
and external validation.
And an external validation.
It's a major obstacle.
A major obstacle to happiness.
To true happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says,
one of his famous quotes is,
right.
He who controls himself is truly free.
Wow.
Yeah. And that really gets to the heart of it.
So it's about internal mastery.
Yeah. Building that inner muscle.
Yeah.
To be able to say no.
Right,
to our
impulsive desires.
And
external pressures.
Yeah. And it's not about denying yourself every pleasure.
Right.
It's about
it's about choosing.
Consciously choosing.
What
truly adds value to your life.
Right.
Versus just distracts you or
enslaves you.
Right.
Yeah. Because what he recognized was when our happiness is tied to things outside of us, wealth status, the latest trends, we become vulnerable.
To the whims of fortune.
Right. And by cultivating self-discipline and embracing a degree of simplicity, we become less vulnerable.
Right. We insulate ourselves.
From those things.
From those external things. Right. So our inner peace
becomes less dependent.
Becomes less dependent on what we have.
On what we have.
And more on like...
And more on who we are.
Who we are.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It is huge.
And I think it's such an important antidote.
It is an antidote.
To all the...
To the marketing messages.
Marketing messages telling us that we need more.
Yeah, we need more to be happy.
To be happy.
Yeah. And speaking of things that add value to our lives, Seneca also had a fascinating perspective on friendship.
Right, and it wasn't just about like...
Not just about social connections.
Social connections or having people to like,
people to go out drinking with.
Go to parties with.
Right.
Right.
It was much deeper than that.
Deeper, yeah.
Yeah, he saw true friendship as a sacred bond, rooted in mutual respect and shared values, especially the pursuit of virtue.
So it wasn't
transactional. It wasn't, what can you do for me?
Right.
It was transformational.
Okay.
He believed that true friends act as mirrors.
Okay.
Reflecting our flaws.
Right.
Encouraging our growth.
So helping us to become...
Helping us to become better.
Better people.
Better people, yeah.
Right. And holding us accountable.
Holding us accountable to our... Philosophical journeys.
To our philosophical journey.
Yeah. So it's not just about expanding your network.
No.
Right?
Not just about networking.
It's
about cultivating those deep connections.
Yeah, with people who challenge you and support you.
Who support your best self.
Right, and share your commitment.
Share your commitment to living a good life.
Yeah.
And I think that's so...
That adds this really important social dimension.
Yeah, it's not all about solitary contemplation.
It's not all about solitary contemplation, right?
Right.
While Stoicism does emphasize individual responsibility, Seneca also understood that supportive relationships are vital.
They're vital, right?
They are vital, yeah.
Because they give you that sounding board. They give
you a sounding board.
Different perspectives, and they help you.
And they help you get through those inevitable challenges.
Navigate the challenges.
Yeah.
Of life.
Of life, yeah. And they contribute to our well-being.
Right.
Yeah.
Another big thing that Seneca talks about, it's a cornerstone of Stoicism, is that our
lasting contentment.
Our lasting contentment should come from within.
Should come from within, yes.
Not from, like, chasing...
Not from chasing external achievements.
External achievements or accolades.
Accolades, yeah.
And this is so relevant, I think, in our, like...
I think so, too.
Performance-driven culture.
Yeah, we're always striving for the next thing.
For the next thing.
Yeah. And Seneca reminds Lucilius and reminds us that those external factors, wealth, fame, power, they're fleeting.
They're fleeting and outside our control.
They are.
And if we put our happiness...
If you place your happiness in those things... It's like building a house on sand.
It's a house of cards.
Yeah.
And so he's really advocating for...
So cultivating that robust inner life.
Yeah.
Yeah, focusing on virtues.
Yeah.
Wisdom, justice.
Yeah.
Courage.
Right.
Temperance.
And those are the things...
that
lead to lasting...
contentment.
Contentment.
Yeah.
Because those are the things that we can control.
Those are the things you can control.
Yeah.
Regardless of your circumstances.
Regardless of your circumstances.
Yeah.
So it's about like shifting your focus.
It's about shifting your focus.
Regardless of your focus.
From the external scoreboard to the internal.
The internal scorecard.
Yeah, your internal compass.
Yes.
Yeah, building that
inner resilience.
Inner resilience.
Yeah. So that no matter what life throws your way.
No matter what happens.
Your sense of well-being.
Your well-being.
Remains intact. Right.
Yeah, and it's about knowing where your true power lies.
Right.
It's in your judgments.
Yeah.
Your choices. Your responses to the world.
Right. And by focusing on the things.
By focusing on what you can influence.
That we can influence.
You cultivate a sense of agency.
Right.
And inner peace.
Yeah. And that's so important because life...
is unpredictable.
It's so unpredictable.
It is.
And inevitably, life is going to throw us those curveballs.
Yeah. And Seneca didn't shy away from that.
He didn't, right. And he actually had a very unique perspective, I thought, on hardship.
He saw hardship.
It wasn't just something...
Not something to be endured.
No, he saw it as an opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, an opportunity for growth and self-discovery.
He didn't sugarcoat it.
He didn't sugarcoat it, no. But he kind of reframed it as a testing ground.
Yeah, he says, let hardships come.
Right.
They will reveal who you truly are.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, pressure.
It's like pressure.
Will reveal the flaws in like...
In weak materials.
Weak materials. But it'll...
But it strengthens...
Strengthen the resilient ones.
Resilient ones, yes.
So
those tough times, those are not just obstacles to overcome.
Right.
Revealing.
They're revealing. They show us our breaking points.
Yeah, they show you your breaking points.
But also our hidden strength.
But also your hidden strengths.
Right.
And it makes you stronger.
Stronger, more resilient, and wiser.
Yeah. More resilient and wiser.
And so it's all kind of painting this picture that Stoicism
is very practical.
It's a very hands-on.
It's hands-on philosophy.
Philosophy is something you do.
Something you do.
Not just something.
Not just something you think about.
You passively understand.
Right.
Right. And Seneca clearly lived this.
He did. He embodied that.
Yeah. He really embodied it.
Yeah. He really believed.
Yeah.
And
that philosophy was a guide for navigating daily life.
Daily life, yeah.
Yeah, not an abstract intellectual exercise.
Right.
It was for living.
Yeah. And he emphasized the importance of regular
self-examination.
Self-examination.
Yeah.
Taking time each day.
To reflect.
To reflect on our actions.
On your actions.
Our judgments.
Your judgment.
The progress towards virtue.
Virtue, yeah.
So self-discipline wasn't a one-time achievement.
Right.
It was an ongoing practice.
Right.
Yeah.
So constantly checking in.
Checking in with yourself.
With yourself.
Yeah.
Holding ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
And striving to live in accordance with these principles.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every single day.
Right. And I think that's what makes
this wisdom so potent.
The wisdom so potent. And so
relevant.
Relevant even today.
Yeah. Even now.
Yeah.
Because it's not about being aware of the ideas.
Aware of the ideas.
It's about embodying them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting it into practice.
It's about integrating them into who you are.
The very fabric of your being. Right.
Right.
And making them your default.
Your default mode.
Mode of operating in the world. Yeah. And I think the way that Seneca communicates these ideas is so key to why these letters have endured for so long.
Yes, because he's not preaching.
He's not preaching from an ivory tower?
From some ivory tower?
Right.
No.
He's not.
His writing is very accessible.
It's accessible. It's personal.
And personal.
It's like he's...
like a mentor.
A mentor, right?
Yeah.
This wise friend offering guidance.
A wise friend offering guidance.
Directly to you.
Directly to you.
Yeah. And
he uses vivid examples. Relatable analogies.
He's talking about everyday life.
Drawing on everyday life in ancient Rome. Yeah.
Right. And he's giving these...
short.
Concise moral lessons.
That stay with you.
That stick with you.
Yeah.
And each letter really feels like...
It feels like a focused conversation.
Like a deep dive into... the specific...
a particular challenge or virtue. Yeah, and you can feel him wrestling with these ideas.
Yeah.
And then sharing his insights.
Right.
With Lucilius.
With Lucilius and with us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's much more engaging.
So much more engaging.
Than some dry philosophical treatise.
Right.
It bypasses that sense of intimidation.
Yeah.
That philosophy sometimes has. Instead, it feels like...
you're having a conversation.
With
a wise and compassionate guide.
Right.
Who's invested in your well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we bring this deep dive... to a close.
Into Seneca's letters from a Stoic.
Yeah.
To a close, it's clear that
these words are timeless.
These words written like 2,000 years ago.
Nearly 2 millennia ago.
Offer this like...
incredibly timely guidance.
Timely and powerful guidance.
Yeah.
For navigating the challenges.
For navigating...
the complexity.
The complexities of modern life.
Or modern life.
Yeah. Seneca's power lies in his ability to articulate those timeless truths.
Right.
About the human condition.
Right.
And to give us strategies.
Yeah.
Practical strategies.
For cultivating inner peace.
So cultivating inner peace, resilience.
Right.
And a life of purpose.
Yeah. And he teaches us how to
navigate the storms of life.
Right.
With strength and clarity.
And how to find fulfillment.
And how to find lasting fulfillment.
Not in external achievements.
But in the cultivation of our character.
The cultivation of our own character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a
final thought.
Final thought for you to take away.
Yeah.
Think about like one specific area.
One area of your life.
Of your life?
Yeah.
Maybe it's how you react to setbacks.
Maybe it's how you manage your tasks.
Or how you manage your tasks.
Or how you value your relationships.
Or how you value your relationships where one of Seneca's insights.
Where something you heard today really resonated.
Really resonated.
Yeah.
What's one small step that you could take?
What's one small step inspired by his wisdom?
Inspired by his ancient wisdom.
Yeah.
To move in a more
mindful,
resilient, and purposeful.
Direction.
Correction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if this deep dive has sparked your interest,
yeah,
we encourage you to read the letters yourself.
Yeah.
There's a wealth of wisdom there.
Yeah. Check it out.
Check it out.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
For this deep dive.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Bye.